The goal is not to be successful and famous. That's not the goal. The goal is, if you have a specific God-given ability, is to live your life out through that, one. And two, we have a responsibility to push the conversation forward until we're all equal in this place, because until everyone's free, no one's free, and that's just the fact. We are all linked some kind of way. So if you oppress a certain people, everyone's in danger. We're basically the same. Once you take away who we are, take away where we come from, we pretty much have the same things. You ask a person who they love, the first thing they'll probably say is their mother, their husband, or whomever. I mean, we all love the same thing. We all want the same thing. We all have the same fears, fear of failure. We all have the same aspirations. To treat people as they are, no matter who they are, no matter where they sit in the world. Not to be super nice to someone at a high position or mean to someone who they deem to be below them. I can't buy you love. I can't show it to you. I can show you affection and I can express love, but I can't put it in your hand.
Right.
I can't put compassion in your hand. I can't show you that.
Right.
So the most beautiful things are things that are invisible. That's where the important things lie. Fairness and compassion and empathy and a loving heart. And those things translate in any environment. Those are the main base things that you want. I grew so much from the experience. But I think the most important thing I got is that everything is connected. Every emotion is connected and it comes from somewhere. And just being aware of it. Being aware of it in everyday life puts you at such an advantage. You realize that someone's racist toward you. It's not even about you. It ain't about you. It's about their upbringing and what happened to them and how they led them to this point. Most bullies bully. These young men coming from they're just in pain. But you got to survive. So you go into survival mode. And when you go into survival mode, what happened? You shut down. Right. You shut down all emotions. So even with women, you got shut down emotionally. So you can't connect. And then now all the things happen from there. I've been taught everything but emotional intelligence. That's not what you're taught as a young man growing up in the projects. You're taught to survive. The strongest thing a man can do is cry. To expose your feelings, to be vulnerable in front of the world. That's real strength. You feel like you gotta be this guarded person. That's not real. It's fake. A lot of people have never been in it. Our little world was all we knew. We didn't know anything outside of that world. So to look and see people that look like you achieving great things is there is more, and it proves self-esteem and it improves upon self-worth. Because a lot of choices are made from the position of, my life is not worth much and this sort of living is not much. So if I risk my life, what am I really missing? But if you know how valuable human life is, you have more respect for yours and for others. These things are going to affect real life people. When you put in prison reform, people are going to jail and families are being broke up and fathers away from their children and the family structure is broken. So that kid grows up, that kid gets into trouble, he goes to jail, and the cycle is vicious. When you look at those situations, I had a similar situation with my pop not being around as well. What cracked the code for me was what was he going through? He's doing this to me. And when I looked at it from his position, my dad wasn't around and, all these things happened. And then when I took a further look, things happened. And you're a result of those things. So you feel that void. Dad's not around. It would have been dope if he'd have been able to take me to a baseball game and all these things. And then life on top of that. He can't get a job. The guy at the office is cursing him out, making him feel less than a man, but he got to take it because he needs the $6.50 an hour. So life beating him down. So he comes home, he's defeated. He's supposed to pick you up on Saturday. He's exhausted. So we don't factor those things in.
You don't look at things through those lenses.
Yeah, seeing things from other people's perspective and what other people are going through. You have to educate your children on the world as it exists today and how it got to that space. But my child doesn't need the same tools that I needed growing up. I needed certain tools to survive my area that my child doesn't need. They're growing up in a different environment. But also they have to know their history, have a sense of what it took to get to this place, and have compassion for others, to identify with everyone's struggle and to know these people made these sacrifices for us to be where we are and to push that forward for us. Sometimes you're placed in situations of hopelessness, and you're placed in situations where you have no other way out but what people would deem wrong, but you're doing them with good intentions.
Just do things that are true to you. Most things that I'm involved with are extension of being creative, and also have a standard for yourself and have some sort of integrity and try to find some sort of truth in what you're doing. I think every move made, like if we're going to compare it to chess, I think every move made is to be learned from, whether it was a good or a bad move. And I think it all sets you on a path. So in order for me to take back any of those moves, I would have to be unhappy with where I am now. And where I am now is, I couldn't even imagine in my wildest dreams that I would be here. So for me to take any of those moves back would be affecting the natural course of where I am now. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Of course, there are things in life that you say I could have done differently, but knowing that and being aware of that, for me, it's helped me. Every chess move that I made, I was like, he's gonna do that. It was followed up because I learned from that one. Okay, now I have to change my strategy because, I moved that there, he's gonna move there. Now I have to move this over here. So at the end of the game, I trapped the queen in the corner. I have the king in my side. So I'm pretty happy with where I am. My responsibility is to the culture. My job is to show it in a great light, so I guess I'm a role model in that way. But as far as the way I live my life, I'm a human being. In the beginning, it's about you and your circle. Okay. Right? You take your circle, you got the people that grind with you every day and share your dreams and slept on the floor with you, and then you make it out. And then you look and he's like, okay, what else? How else can I be of service? Mm-hmm. And as you move further and further away from, you achieve these goals that you thought were unattainable in the beginning, and you achieve them. And then you look around and you say, okay, how can we duplicate this? When you have someone behind you that really believe in what's right, it motivates you to do the right thing. When you get to a point in your life and you really focus on what's important. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Is that we can't afford any mistakes at this point. And so you just really focus on what's important to you and people you love. And that's what really just brings me genuine happiness, just hanging out. All my friends came, I'm pointing that way because they're in the back. All my friends is here. The most beautiful things are not these objects. The most beautiful things are inside. The most beautiful things are the friendships I have really golden friendships that, most people don't have. You can have all the watches and paintings in the world. You don't have a friends like I have. Mm-hmm. The friendships I've acquired and the compassion and the person I've become. That's what this chapter is. I always believed in the way you live your life, you affect the outcome of your life. You can't control the future. I mean, you can control it up to some point. You can't control what others do. You can't control anything. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. That's life.